Okay, we'll start. So we had seen that Prabhu Sarva Sharva Shivasahata Shivasthanuhu Bhutadar Nidirabhyayaha Sambhavo Bhavano Bharata Prabhava Prabhurishwaraha Prabhavaha Prabhu Ishwaraha. So we had seen till Prabhu, last word, or you can say the last nama of verse number 4 we have to see, that is Ishwaraha. Nirupadikam Aishwaryam Asya iti Ishwaraha. As per the Shankara Bhashya, if you see, the definition of Ishwaraha is Nirupadikam, Nirupadikam Aishwaryam, yes, Asya iti Ishwaraha. Nirupadikam is like limitless. Upadikam, Upadhi. Now there are two meanings to this word Upadhi. Upadhi the most common meaning in Sanskrit for Upadhi is a medium. For example, now if you have to drink water, I put it in a glass. I put it in a glass or I put it in a bottle and drink. So the glass or bottle serves as a medium. This is Upadhi. But here in this case, Nirupadikam or Nirupadikam. Nir is a prefix. It's called a pratyaya, upasarga in Sanskrit. There are about 22 upasargas, pra, upa, nir and so on. And these are like prefixes that are added to the word. So when like this, one of the prefixes, one of the upasargas is this nir. Nir, when it is added, nir upadhi, when it is added, it becomes limitless. So the one who has got limitless powers, or one who can do anything beyond human perception, that is Ishwaraha. Now there is a story behind this. What is that? Let's have a look. Now, for here we have to refer to the Krishna Leela stories. Lord Krishna, we all know that during his young days, after his Upanayana Samskara, he had gone to Sandipani's house. So Krishna and Balarama, they had gone to stay in their Gurukula of Sandipani, and there they had also met their friend Sudama, who was a childhood friend of Krishna. So Krishna, Balarama, Sudama, all other boys, they used to study together in the ashrama of Sandipani. Now if you know the background story of Sandipani, he had a lot of tragedies in his life. So tragedies, as soon as his son was born, his son had died at a very young age. So therefore the couple, though he ran an ashrama, he used to teach other boys and everything, and Sandipani's wife also used to have a very motherly feeling towards all these boys because she had lost her own son. And usually if you see, even in the Ramayana times, if you take, when Rama and his brothers go to the ashrama of Vasishta to study, Vasishta's wife Arundhati used to always be very affectionate, and when, if you would have seen the Ramayana serials or so, or even in the Valmiki Ramayana, if you read, you'll know the affection of Arundhati, or it is said that Arundhati shed tears when Rama and his brothers were to return back to Ayodhya. So that is because it's not something very, you can say, uncommon or so. It may not be only like a mother also. Even if some other person comes to our house for a few days to stay, automatically we develop some affection, right? And when the person leaves, we feel bad. So it's not that always we might cry and make a big issue out of it, but at least for a few days also we say, right, I'm feeling dull, or without you we're feeling lonely, and so on. So similarly here also, Sandipani and his wife, and on top of that they had lost their son too, a very young boy at the age of about 7 or 8 years, due to he had gone to the river also and he drowned. So some kind of tragedy that was there. So that's how Sandipani had lost his son. But still, he used to never have that feeling, that sorrow in his mind. He used to teach all the boys in the Gurukula very sincerely with all his heart. And Krishna, it is said that he had learned all the 64 kalas in 64 days. Because Lord himself has learned 64 kalas. We don't even know the names of all the 64 kalas, but he had learnt all the 64 kalas in 64 days. So now the teaching has been done. So next, Krishna goes and asks Sandipani, what Guru Dakshina should I give you? So in those times it is without giving Guru Dakshina for, now not only in those times, even in today's times, without giving Guru Dakshina for anything that you learn from anyone, it might be, it is useless, or it is said that it will never stay with us. Now from the side of the Guru, usually the Guru must not ask anything from his or her side. That is one reference. Or sometimes what they do is the Guru asks it may not be always in terms of money. It will be something very menial amount, very small amount of money, or it will be like maybe in those times it was not only money. So whatever are your necessities. So maybe now for this month's expense you give me something, food grains, or maybe now because Krishna belonged to a family that used to deal in milk and milk products, maybe they used to supply him with milk products. So something like that. The guru had the rights to demand, but still a true guru will never demand anything from his side, or whatever he demands will be a very menial. And it is said that gurus, when they demand something, that is so that to even those people or children who do not offer any Guru Dakshina, still because the person is asking, at least for that sake, the child will pay or the student will pay some Guru Dakshina. Guru Dakshina is very, very important because the Gurus used to know this. Without paying Guru Dakshina, the education or whatever learning that is provided, that will never reach the student. That is what is believed. So either you, whatever you give as Guru Dakshina, that doesn't matter. The quantity doesn't matter. You give 1 rupee or you give something in kilos or so, like not, it need not be always in terms of money. So for 2-3 months I have provided you with all your provisions and so on. So anything, it might depend on the person or it might depend on our needs also, but something has to be given as Guru Dakshina. So this was the tradition that was being followed. So now Krishna goes and asks Sandipani, what Guru Dakshina should I give you? I have learnt everything. That day you have taught me so well that in 64 days I have mastered all the 64 kalas. Now you tell me what you want. Sandipani as usually refused, saying that no, you have learnt in a very short span of time. That itself has made me very happy, he tells. So then Krishna says that no, you have to ask for some Guru Dakshina, otherwise all this knowledge will go waste. So then at that time Sandipani he goes and, so Sandipani tells, you give me a day's time, let me have a discussion with my wife and then I'll come and tell you. So this tradition on a lighter note is going on from years together, wherein without seeking the advice of the wife, the husband doesn't speak about. So again Sandipani he goes, he asks his wife saying that Krishna has made an offer like this. So I did not declare anything now, you tell, otherwise later we'll have a fight amongst us. So you tell what you want. He's Lord of the 3 worlds, he's not a normal human child, we know. So whatever we ask, he might return. So you think properly and tell what you want. He has given us 1 day's time. So then Sandipani's wife, she was very smart. She said that, okay, now let us rest everything, money, this, that, food, all that we have. Or we can find out some other ways to do that. Let us ask for our lost son back. That is the only sorrow that both of us have. The son who has died, let us ask Krishna to return him back. Sandipani was shocked. He said, no, person who has died, he cannot come back, right? We cannot ask that. So how can I ask? Krishna will think that I am a fool. So then Sandipani said, she gets angry here. She said, you asked me what to ask, I have told you, now you go and tell, I don't know anything. And she gets very emotional because she had lost her son. She starts crying. Now Sandipani said, okay, let me try. I'll go and speak to Krishna. In case he says it's possible, I will go and speak to him. So let me first go and ask. Sandipani goes and tells Krishna that we had a son and due to some tragedy we had lost him. So now both of us, my wife and myself, we have decided that we want our son back. So this is only the Guru Dakshina that I want from you. Krishna readily agrees. He says that yes, I will do something. He goes to Yamaloka. He goes to the heaven. He finds out, he asks Yamadeva, he asks all the people in heaven, saying that you please, Sandipani's son has come here, where is he? So many years had taken place. So now even the god said, no, he's here, he's there. So Krishna goes about searching for Sandipani's son. Finally he meets him and then he brings back the son. Now the son had also grown up. So he brings back the son and he returns it back to Sandipani. And Sandipani and his wife both are very, very happy. Now this is a story that ends here. Now coming back to the logical, practical point of view. Can a dead person be brought back? Or can actually Krishna go to heaven and bring back someone? If this is possible, then nobody will die, right? And even if someone dies, we'll pray to the Lord and send someone to heaven and bring back the person. So is this possible logically? Now the name here is Ishwaraha. Ishwara has limitless powers. So this is a difference, or this nama or this story that is there. It is symbolic to show the extraordinary and unlimited powers of the Lord, saying that things that are beyond human imagination, that too can be done by God. In simple human language, we call it as miracles. So there are few things which are beyond our perception. Just because it doesn't sound logical, or just because we cannot imagine such things, doesn't mean that such things would have never happened. So therefore, all these stories, now to what extent would it really be there, or can it really happen? Can a dead person be brought back? Why today it is not happening, and so on? when we try to question such things, it's not wrong in questioning, but this, through such stories, what it tries to show is the Lord's powers are limitless. That's why he's called as Ishwaraha. Ishwaraha meaning one having extraordinary capacities, who can do anything if you ask. And for all the devotees who show devotion to him, he can give you anything if you want, even beyond your perception. That's why we find, right, even in our everyday lives, sometimes things we didn't imagine, but suddenly things change all of a sudden. We say, right, I don't know how things change. Yesterday it was not like that. Today my life has changed, right? Or in one day, some people, if you win a lottery or something like that. Now in today's times we don't have the lottery, but at least a few years back we had people who used to buy these lottery tickets and all. Even today we find it though. And then suddenly you get a lottery. So it seems to be magic. So again, it doesn't, the point I'm trying to say is, Ishwaraha, this name tries to symbolize extraordinary powers, or one having extraordinary powers. If we also chant the Nama, Ishwaraya Namaha, we will be blessed with not extraordinary powers, we are human beings, but with a very good managing capacity. So people who are enrolled in management professionals and all, today especially this domain is coming up of management. Everywhere you go, everyone is a manager and so on. So that is where managing, it need not be again in only an office. Whatever we do, we will be able to do that properly. So proper management skills, we will never lack anywhere. That is the Phalashruti of this Nama, Ishwaraya Namaha. So things though, like the story now, Sandipan, his dead son was brought back by Krishna. So for the sake of his guru, he can go to any extent. This shows that for the sake of his devotees, he can go to any extent. So this Nama tries to symbolize that. So if you have faith and belief, things surely work. I'll give you one more example for this. When such things come in, why I'm telling you this is, we must never have any place for doubt in our minds of what all this is there, what now I'm going to sit and read some fairy tale and magical stories. For that am I wasting my time morning 9 to 10, or why am I even chanting this Vishnu Sahasranama? Such thoughts should not come to our mind. Therefore I'm giving you one more example. Prahlada Charitam. Narsimha Avatara, Prahlada Charitam, if you see, Prahlada there says that even in this pillar also the Lord is there. Hiranyakashipu laughs. He says, you say God is everywhere, show me. He himself asks, say that in this pillar, can you see Lord Vishnu? Will he come here? So then Prahlada says, yes, he is everywhere, he will be here. Show me, prove me, he says. And with that, he breaks the pillar. Hiranyakashipu breaks the pillar and Narsimha comes out. Narsimha, how he comes? As per the boon given to Hiranyakashipu, not during morning, not during night, he comes during the evening time. That is, that you can see the sky also. Sun is about to set, at the same time moon is about to rise. The orangish color, horizon as we call. So in the evening time, Hiranyakashipu, Narsimha comes in, half man, half lion. Not a man, not a woman he wants, not an animal, nothing. So half man, half lion. So looking at all, not on land, not on earth, not on heaven, all these boons he had asked, so he came inside a pillar. So such things, as per the boons given to Hiranyakashipu, the Lord himself took an incarnation here in the form of Narsimha Avatara and came here to bless Prahlada. This is the story that we know. Question that should come, tomorrow I'll also say inside this table the Lord is there, will he come in front of me? If we ask this question, second question we should ask ourselves, do I have the devotion like Prahlada? That is not there, how will the Lord come? Prahlada, if you see his Charitam, he was facing all kinds of punishments. What not was given to him by Hiranyakashipu. He was thrown by a mountain, he was thrown into a fire, he was thrown from a mountain, he was thrown into the fire, he was told to be burnt, he was told to be beaten up, but still he says that no, Vishnu is only one who is there. And in spite of facing his own father telling him not to worship Lord Vishnu, he did not give up. In spite of facing all kinds of problems and dangers, he did not give up on his devotion. If such devotion we also have, surely the Lord will come. But so the point I'm saying is, before we question something magical or how Prahlada tells and from the pillar Narsimha comes in, second question we should ask ourselves, or if whomever questions, you can ask them, saying that, are we having the devotion like Prahlada? Or Dhruva Charitam. Dhruva got a place like in the heaven like a pole star. Even till date we say Dhruva Tara, in the pole star he is staying. How such things are going to happen? Small 5-year-old boy goes and tells Vishnu, you give me a proper place in heaven, you give me an ultimate place wherein nobody will shoot me down, like because he had to face that from his father Uttanapada. How such things can happen? Then second question you ask yourself, can you do tapas like Dhruva? Dhruva Charitam, if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, I think about 5th skanda or so, beautifully there. Shuka, Vyasacharya, what he writes, Shuka Brahmam, how he explains is that first 30 days or so, he did not even consume, he was just eating the roots and leaves of trees. Then slowly, he still reduces. Then he says only water, then only air, and ultimately he stops everything. With air, that boy used to stay alive, 5-year-old boy. So these are some different references. This is the amount of tapas that the boy did. For doing such tapas, he got the boon in the form of Dhruvatara. If you are ready to do tapas, you will also get the boon. So before we question something, we must know the efforts put in behind the person and the right fruit that are gotten. Okay, so coming back to the name. So why I gave you a very, you can say, detailed explanation is that many times, not only us, maybe not people amongst us, but we find people around who question, right? So before we question, again questioning is not wrong, pariprashnena sevaya, but we must know the background story behind that. Why something has happened, if we know, then surely there will be no questions at all. Okay. Ishwaraya Namaha, meaning one having extraordinary powers. Even if we chant this Nama, Ishwaraya Namaha, Palashruti is, we will be able to manage everything nicely. Okay. Did everyone understand this Nama? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Next, verse number 5. Finally, we completed verse 4. Now, verse number 5. Swayambhu Shambhuradhyaha Pushkaraksho Mahaswanaha Anadi Nidhanodhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamaha. Swayambhu Swayameva Bhavati Iti Swayambhu. Now, all the different Jyotirlingas that we have all around, that is all Swayambhu. Different temples that have come in, the different Shaktipitas that have come in, they are all Swayambhu. Meaning nobody has gone and made a Shivalinga, or all the 12 Jyotirlingas that are there, Saurashre, Somanathan, Shri, Shaile, Mallikarjunam, and so on. Nobody has gone and made a Shivalinga. There are different stories behind different Shivalingas coming in. So each of them has come there on their own. That is Swayambhu. So Swayameva Bhavati iti Swayambhu. Now, what is the story behind this? Once in Dwaraka, there was a Brahmana. Dwaraka was ruled by Krishna. So a Brahmin used to stay there along with his wife. 5 children were born to them. 5 children were born. And as soon as each of the children was born, each of the child was born, the child used to die. All the 9 months, the lady used to keep it in the stomach, keep it in the womb. Immediately labor used to take place, the child used to come out, and next minute it used to vanish. The Brahmin did not know what to do. First child it happened, okay, he considered it to be some tragedy, some calamity, okay, maybe some medical problem or so, he left. Second child was born, again it comes out of the womb, it vanishes. Where it goes, nobody knows. Third child vanishes, fourth child vanishes. Fifth child comes in, that also vanishes. Now the Brahmin was fed up. He said, no, I have to do something. He rushes to the palace of Krishna, to the kingdom of Krishna. This takes place in Dwaraka when Krishna was ruling Dwaraka. So he tells Krishna, you see what is happening in your kingdom, what are you doing here sitting in the kingdom of Dwaraka? He tries to scold Krishna because of his dukkha, the sorrow that he has faced. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 5 children he has lost. And he doesn't know how he lost. He goes to Krishna. So Krishna says, what happened? Arjuna is also sitting nearby. And now this is after the Kurukshetra war and everything. So Arjuna had just come to visit Krishna. So he was also sitting nearby in the kingdom. So Krishna says, what happened? Why are you shouting? What's the problem? You tell me. The Brahmin tells everything, that 5 children I have lost this way, I don't know where they have gone. Everyone just, as soon as they are born, they vanish into the air. Krishna says, okay, but what can I do for this? That's what he asks. The Brahmin gets very angry. He says, what you can do for this? You cannot tell like this. You have to do something. I am losing all my children. In your kingdom such things are happening. You tell me. Krishna there says that if a child is vanishing, or after a child is born, if it goes, what can I do? What has got to do with the kingdom, king and all that? Krishna says, the Brahmin says, I don't know all that. In your kingdom such problems are happening. You have to take care. You have to do something. So he gets very angry and he keeps on mocking Krishna. Arjuna is sitting nearby. He does not like it. He says, what? How can you tell Krishna like this? You don't worry. And then he thinks about the Brahmana. He says, oh Brahmana, you don't worry. I will come with you. Let me see where your child is going, who's taking your child, how your child is vanishing. So then the Brahmin says that, no, now the 6th child is going to be born. Soon my wife will go into labor. So you please come and you save my child. So Arjuna says, yes, yes, I'm coming. Now Arjuna also was, you can say, a bit short-tempered, like Balarama or like Lakshmana you can consider. That too, when someone insults Krishna or himself, he used to feel very bad because he was a Kshatriya. Ultimately for him, his honor is very, very important. Krishna at that time warns Arjuna, saying that you don't go, you might face humiliation. We don't know how the child is vanishing, you leave it. That is not our part to do here. Don't do that. Krishna says, Arjuna says, no, 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 he has come and insulted you at the top of time. He is saying that in your kingdom how things are happening. Are we just fools sitting on the throne? We have to follow our Kshatriya dharma. You might be a Vaishya and so on, but still today you are a king. You have changed your dharma. You have to behave like a Kshatriya. I am a Kshatriya and so on. He just keeps blabbering about. All this you will find in the Mahabharata reference. Krishna said so. Krishna does not tell anything. He says, do what you want. In the Gita also, Krishna told Arjuna the same thing. Now also he is telling the same thing. Me mataha, me mataha. As per my opinion, do this, rest you decide. So then now Arjuna sets out with his arrows, bow and everything. He sets about. And with his arrows, he creates a very good, you can say like a boundary or so, covering the entire house of the Brahmana, saying that not even a small insect can enter through. Let me see how your child vanishes. The Brahmana is very happy. Even if Krishna did not help, Arjuna has come to help me. Surely now this child will be saved. The lady goes into labor, the child is born. This child also vanishes. Arjuna is shocked. Arjuna said, how? How is this child vanishing? I have just covered, I have made a full boundary, a covering around the entire house of the Brahmana. How this child has vanished? Can anyone tell? He goes about here and there. He goes to Krishna. Krishna has also come there. Krishna told Arjuna that I told you first only, you don't go in the middle. This still you have interfered and you have created problems. Why did you do this? Arjuna says, you forget about all that. But how this child has vanished? I am such a great archer. I won the Kurukshetra war. I have killed all the Kauravas. I have killed so many people. In spite of that, how all this has happened? Krishna says that, you don't worry. Let me see what has happened. So now, as per the Kshatriyas, as per the rules that are mentioned as in our scriptures or even in the Manu Dharma Shastram, what is mentioned is that if a Kshatriya faces humiliation or if a Kshatriya faces failure, he has to jump into fire. Arjuna was stringent rule and that too terrible humiliation. Now some people, all of us also we face, when they face some kind of insult, it might be a very small argument, but still if it is like someone insults us, we feel very bad. Of course we won't jump into fire, but they hold that grudge for so many years. And no, he told me. No, he told me. Even in our everyday lives, you see, sorry, small argument takes place. Some people it will just be on a very small scale, but still for months together, years together, or even lifelong also, we keep that grudge in mind. No, that person, he insulted me, I'll never forgive you. But some of us are like, it happens. For a few days, of course, we might feel bad and then we just leave it. But in the case of Kshatriyas, it is not like that. They have to jump into fire. He faced terrible humiliation. That to the one who was won the Kurukshetra war, a small child he could not save. So you see the amount of humiliation that Arjuna would have faced. Arjuna makes a fire ready and everything. He was about to jump into it. Krishna says, please stop. You have already not listened to me. Now don't do something of your own. Please listen. I'll tell you. Krishna sets out immediately to heaven. He goes to Swargaloka. He goes to Vaikuntha. There he sees Bhudevi, Sridevi, Neela Devi, 3 wives of Lord Vishnu, and there on their laps, in each of their laps, you can see two children each. They were those 6 children that are there. Krishna goes about to Vaikuntha. He says, what? Below on the earth, all the Brahmin is crying. Arjuna is about to jump in fire. The Brahmin's wife is crying. She has gone into labor 6 times. All her children are vanishing. Why have you 3 brought these children here? And that too, they are alive. You see, I told you, the child vanished. I did not say the child died, right? So the child kept on vanishing. So these 6 children were brought by all these 3 goddesses, Bhudevi, Sridevi, Neela Devi. Lord Krishna asked, why have you kept it here? What is the reason? On their laps they had kept. So then at that time, the 3 goddesses replied that we are the ones who, or all the people in this world, we are all made of Panchabhuta, 5 elements. That's how we are born. We are made of. And we take a birth only out of our own will, out of our karma, right? Based on our karma, we take our birth. So today in this birth, we are born as a human being. Next birth, we don't know how we will be born, right? So, or in the previous birth, what was I don't know. I might be an animal, I might be a human being, or what, I don't know. Next birth also, I don't know what will happen. So therefore, and this birth also I am born because of my karma, because of some good deeds I got a human birth, and based on that now I am leading a life. So, and that too, nothing is there in my hands. I cannot decide anything. I cannot decide in which family I'll be born. I cannot decide what I'll be doing, and so on, right? But you are the one who is Swayambhu. Swayambhu, you can be born at your own accord. You are not made of 5 Pancha Mahabhuta elements, no, Pancha Maha Upanishads. The Lord's body is formed of Upanishads and Vedas. That is what is said. But we wanted to see you. So therefore, now Krishnavatara, many years have been passed about. So Krishna used to always stay on earth only. He never returned back to Vaikuntha, it is said. It is said that all the 3 goddesses, Bhudevi, Sridevi, Neela Devi, they wanted to see the Lord. There was no other way to bringing the Lord up back to heaven. Therefore, they vanished. They took all these 3 children away and made such a setting that Lord Krishna would come back to Vaikuntha, and those 3 goddesses would be able to see their husbands in the form of Lord Krishna as Swayambhu. Vishnu, Vaikuntha they had there. Vishnu they were seeing for all these years. But they wanted to see the Krishna Avatara. They wanted to see their husband incarnated as Lord Krishna, because the whole world was praising him. He had incarnated as a Purna Avatara. Even till date we pray to Lord Krishna as a god. For many people he has been a savior. So the wives they wish that we also want to see this Lord. There was no other way to bring you up, nor we could come down to earth. Therefore we made this setting. We tried to vanish these 6 children. We knew that you would come up looking for the 6 children. At that time we can meet you. Now we return all these 6 children to you, and now you can take back and give it to the couple. Krishna takes all the 6 children, he gives back to the couple, and the couple is happy. Now this is the story that is there. Now what is a reference with Swayambhu then? How has this story got some connection with Swayambhu? The thing is that through this incident, the 3 goddesses, what they try to show is that all of us, we are born through these normal elements. We cannot decide our birth. Like Krishna tells Arjuna also, I think in the 7th chapter or so of the Gita, he tells Arjuna that you are born because of your karma. I am born out of my own will. But that again doesn't mean that my life is very easy. Now you see the Lord himself, he has to go through so much. Okay, I have incarnated on the earth, now at least let me live in peace. No. His own wives are causing him some or the other, like this, they make some settings and they try to call him up. Again he has to rush to Vaikuntha to see his wives. Again he has to come back on earth. Otherwise Arjuna will jump into fire. And if he does not jump into fire, again Dwaraka is waiting. 16,108 wives are waiting for him there. So like this, there are so many situations that are being formed. So though Krishna says that, though you cannot decide your birth, you cannot be born out of your own will, you are not Swayambhu, Arjuna. Though I am Swayambhu, I can take a birth, but still I have a purpose. Only when adharma comes in, then only I can. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkatam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Only to establish dharma I can come in. So there, to this nama there are 2 references. One is the story that is there, how Krishna saved the lives of the Brahmana's children. Second is to show the significance of Swayambhu and to show the significance between the Lord and all of us. So it's not that the Lord is incarnated just like a normal human being to do some tasks and he comes back. No. Swayambhu is one who has emerged. There is nothing. One who is born on his own. He does not have to pass through different deeds or based on his karma. He does not get a birth. His birth is not decided. Whenever he wills, he can take a birth. So the goddesses therefore say that just as whenever you willed, you have taken a birth, we also wanted to see you now in this form of Swayambhu. Krishna Avatara is only form wherein Purna Avatara, a man, but at the same time he tries to show godly qualities. All the other avatars, if you see, it is usually in the form of animals or so. Rama Avatara is Nara Avatara, fully human being. Krishna Avatara, human being, but the next level he tries to show even godly qualities in that. So here the goddesses say that we wanted to see this form of you, therefore we made such a story also, wherein all the 6 kids are taken away, and then finally now you can give back to the kids. And then the Brahman and his wife, they lived happy. So this is the significance of this name, Swayambhu. Here, Swayambhave Namaha. This is the nama if we chant. We'll always be healthy. There will be no health problems at all. So just as all the 6 children, though they vanished, they were returned back alive. They were not killed or so. Healthy, they were returned back by the goddesses. Goddesses themselves had taken care of these children, and then all the 6 children were returned back. Similarly, all of us also, if we chant this Nama, Swayambhave Namaha, remembering the Swayambhu, meaning the one who is born of his own, at his own will, if we remember this significance, then we'll always be healthy. There will be no kind of health problems at all. Okay. Did everyone understand this Nama?
Yes.
Very nice, very nice.
Hari Om. Yes, Lakshmi.
Okay. Next. Swayambhu Shambhu. Shambhu. Now here, Shambhu, another name for Shambhu. Shambhave Namaha, Pinakine Namaha. This is again another name for Lord Shiva. Again showing Shiva Vishnu unity. Many names. For example, we have already seen Shivaha. Now next is Shambhu. Now why Shambhu? Shambhu literally means bliss or happiness. For this again there is a story. Now why Shiva is always called as Shambhu? Ashutoshi is another name for Shiva. Ashutoshi meaning one who can be pleased very easily. Vishnu also can be pleased, Brahma also can be pleased. In the case of Shiva, immediately you can please him. But at the same time, immediately you can make him angry too. You offer a few Bilva Patras, you just chant Om Namah Shivaya, he is pleased. He will give you whatever you ask, he will give you immediately. Whereas, we do some sin, immediately he might get angry too. Unknowingly, I'm saying. Unknowingly, knowingly, whatever. So, Shambhu literally means happiness. So, one who is very happy or absolute bliss, that is Shambhu. For this, there is a story. There was a king and he was the one who used to like his wife very much. Or, he used to love his wife dearly. So, wherever she went, he used to go about with her. If she walked on the roadside, he used to carry an umbrella on top of his head. If she walked barefoot, he used to offer her sandals. So like this, for everything he was behind his wife, he used to take care of his wife very well. And so therefore a few saints were there, a few alvas. This is a story happening in South India. So they used to ask that, okay, it is not wrong to take care of your wife, but to this extent that she's walking on the road, you are carrying an umbrella. If she does not wear footwear, you are carrying it with you, and so on. So like, what is this? Why are you showing so much of devotion to your wife? It's okay to love your wife, but not to this extent, right? So then the king said that you must see the beauty in her eyes. You must see the beauty in her eyes. The beauty that is there, just like Kamalapatraksham, he called, the Lord's eyes are lotus eyes, but this king used to call his wife Kamalapatrakshi, one having lotus eyes. So you just look at her eyes, her beauty, just by looking at it is bliss. I feel very, very happy. The saint said that we will show you another beauty, another one having beautiful eyes. You just see her beauty and then you decide what you want to do. The king disagreed. He said, no, there is no one beautiful than my wife. No one, nothing. So then the saint said, yes, but we want to show you something. You come and see him, look at his eyes, and then you decide whether there is someone else more beautiful than your wife or what it is. The king agreed. He said, yes, but with a very, you can say, from inside he had actually disagreed, declaring that there is no one beautiful than my wife. But still, because the saints were saying, he said, okay, I'll come with you. They take him straight to the Ranganatha temple of Sri Rangam, and there they try to show him the Lord's image. You can see during the Utsava time or even the main idol also, the decoration that is being done so beautiful of Sri Ranga along with his wife Sri Devi Bhudevi. The person was mesmerized. Looking at this idol, he says, oh yeah, really this is having lotus-like eyes. Surely this is more beautiful than my wife too. And there he makes this declaration saying that one having most beautiful eyes, lotus-like eyes, Kamalapatraksham or Vishalakshi is a name for the goddess, or even for Sita in the Sundarakanda we have reference in many places as Vishalakshi. Vishalam Akshi. It literally means one having big eyes. The people who do this Bharatnatyam dance, you see, they'll have those big eyes because of the decoration or the kajal that they put in. The eyes seem to be very big, right? So one having beautiful eyes. So we have to do many things to make our eyes beautiful maybe, or big, to look big. But the Lord and the goddess, by birth, they have beautifully shaped eyes. So here the king declares that yes, the one having eyes beautiful, then my wife too, that is this Lord Ranganatha or Sri Rangam. And just by looking at her, looking at him, looking at the Lord with his consort Sri Devi Bhudevi, I experience total bliss. Just as when I spend time with my wife, looking at her beauty, I I feel very happy looking at this Lord of Ranganatha. It is just total bliss, and therefore he prays to the Lord chanting Shambhave Namaha, Shambhave Namaha, saying one who gives me ultimate happiness, that is Shambhave Namaha. This is just one story signifying this. Shambhu, signifying that looking at the Lord, one feels very happy. But there can be many stories for this. Now whenever we go to a temple also, or whenever you are doing something good, or whenever we look at an image of a Lord, or it can be any positive things. Now see, whenever we say that you do some puja, worship, you go to a temple also, you feel happy. It may not be only with regards to religion or only something related to God. Whenever we feel that we are doing something good, you spend time doing nicely. Now I'll give you the example of our own class. 1 hour now, 9 to 10, every Saturday we meet. You feel happy or you don't feel happy, that is one thing. But at least we don't feel bad. Or at least we don't feel, why am I sitting here? If you want, you can leave too. You have an option, right? Nobody is going to stop you. But we don't feel that, okay, someone has forcefully made me to sit, or why am I sitting here, or during this time when you're listening 1 hour to me, I assume this, so we don't feel some negative emotions in our mind, or we don't feel, okay, I want to go and kill someone, I want to go and beat someone. So at least for the 1 hour we don't get negative qualities, right? You feel happy or you don't feel happy, that is the other part, that's fine, but at least we don't feel bad, at least we don't feel negative, nothing happens. So this itself is pure bliss, this itself is Shambhave Namaha. Otherwise, throughout the day, if you see, when we are doing all other activities, someone on the other one comes in, they have some argument. Throughout the day, it's not that all days are good, right? You have to keep doing something. You're doing some work, someone will come and poke you. Even at home, we have some arguments with someone. So negativity is there all around. If you see even the world today, 50% is happy, 50% is negativity. And human beings, we have a habit to look at only the bad things. What about the good things that are there? No, everything is bad. Everything is bad. There are a lot of distractions, so much of pollution, so much of global warming, so much of inflation. What about the good things? Good things are also there. But human mentality is whatever is bad, we want to look at that. Right? So, coming back to the topic is things in which we feel happy, we feel good. So we spend some time with some good people, or maybe we spend time doing something interesting, we spend time learning what we like, or we visit temples. Even you go to a temple, people who are even non-believers of God. Now many people, we go to our temples, right, just to witness the architecture, or just to witness the beauty of the place, or forget about all that. As young children, usually, now today of course many parents and all others, you might go on proper vacations, right? But usually if you see, the trips that we make, it might be a vacation trip also, you go to some places just for sightseeing, that is one part. But most of our vacation trips used to be, you either go to your own village, maybe the most people here, you're old, you might connect to this, go to your own village, and or you go to some places, like wherever you go, there will be some or the other kind of temple visits, right? So either there will be some puja happening somewhere, or some temple visit that is there. So usually family trips are surrounded, 90% are around this, 10% we can consider for sightseeing and all that. Whereas with friends, if we go, that's a different thing, that will be only sightseeing and fun. So it's not that these temple visits don't have fun, but usually it is like, you go and visit, do some puja, you go and see some God and so on. So usually as young kids, all of us, it's not that we don't believe in God or we are non-believers, but still we have what now, always go to a temple, for this have we come, I have come to enjoy, and then you're taking me to a temple and so on. So as young kids, always we had this in mind, right? But still, even unknowingly also, or even unwillingly, we can say we went and we saw the temple, right? Okay, this temple is nice. So whatever temple visit it is, though unwillingly also I go, I don't get any kind of negative emotion. Now whenever you are inside a temple, you believe, you don't believe, you saw the Lord, you didn't see the Lord, or what all thoughts came to your mind, that all doesn't matter. But at least I didn't feel bad. At least no negative qualities came inside me. At least I was happy. In that 1 hour, only good thoughts came to my mind, right? So all this experience, now of course this though I'm telling, it depends on all of your personal experiences. So the things that give us ultimate bliss, and in this context it is Shambhave Namaha, wherein the person, the king, saw the eyes of Ranganatha and he experienced bliss and he experienced happiness. So whenever we do something good, it can be any positive things, not only limited to religion alone, anything related to God, or you visit a good temple, you do some good puja, we surely feel happy, that is Shambhave Namaha. That is Shambhu. So even if we also chant this Nama Shambhave Namaha, we will also experience absolute bliss in life. Okay, did everyone understand this Nama?
Yes, Lakshmi, the king's name I couldn't gather.
The king's name is not mentioned as just a king. Now you see, this story is like just you can say not very apt, just a significance to show bliss. That's it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste. Next, Adityaha. What is the significance of this name, Adityaha? Now the Lord rules over. That's why we say Surya Narayanaya Namaha. Sun also is considered to be a form of Narayana. Okay. Now for this we have to go to the Mahabharata reference. Now Draupadi's incident. Okay. Now Draupadi, now we know the story of how Draupadi was lost, the gambling or the game of dice between the Kauravas and Pandavas. So Yudhishthira had lost everything. So at that time a maid servant comes there. Dushasana was being before Dushasana was being sent, a person comes there and he tells all the dasis were there. Dasis was all the women who were surrounding Draupadi. So now usually if you see, we get some news, right? So in olden times what used to happen is a lot of dutas, a lot of messengers used to be there. So though we are not present there in the assembly physically, they used to get a lot of news from all these messengers. So Draupadi also got this news that Yudhishthira is losing everything, and she got the news that he has lost even Draupadi. So now Draupadi asks a question that, did Yudhishthira offer him first? That is, did Yudhishthira lose him first, or did Yudhishthira lose me first? So at that time, the dasis, the messengers told that no, he first lost himself and then he lost him. So now Draupadi says that this is invalid, right? He has already given him, he has already lost him, saying that no, now if you look at the background story, how it happens is that it's a gambling. So whoever loses, they have to give them something. So that's how he lost his kingdom. Now today we play in this gambling and everything in the form of just money, right? Or I think some people, they indulge in this rummy and all such sort of things. I'm talking with money, okay, not just a normal game that we play. So we lose in only money today. But in those times it was not only money, it will be whatever you own. So riches, kingdom, all his four brothers, he himself, he lost. What remained last was just Draupadi. So then he offered Draupadi also. And Draupadi said that kingdom is lost, riches are lost, all four brothers have been given. He has given himself also. So that means now nothing is remained. And after giving himself, after offering himself, how can he make an offer that Draupadi is also lost? Legally, this is wrong. Once you offer yourself to the opposite party, you cannot make any claims. That's it, the game is over there. But Yudhishthira did not have an option. Duryodhana kept on pestering, no, you have to give me something more, give me something more. Yudhishthira had lost everything, his kingdom, his riches, all his five brothers. He himself had been offered. What remained was Draupadi. Now legally, as per the rules of the game, if you have given up yourself, then now you belong to the opposite party. You cannot make any more claims that I will offer you more. So legally, Draupadi cannot be offered at all. But still, now the rule of Mahabharata, no rules were being followed, right? All rules were being broken. That's how ultimately it was a war of dharma over adharma. That's how the Kauravas end, they lost. So then Draupadi was pulled by Dushasana. So Duryodhana did not believe in all this. As per the legal games and everything, he said, what legal, what rules all we don't follow. Yudhishthira lastly offered Draupadi also, and Draupadi has to be insulted. So that's when he sends Dushasana. He sends a lady first, she doesn't come. Now at that time Draupadi, she could not come outside. She was Ekavastradhara, she was in her monthly periods time. So during the monthly cycle time, they used to not come outside. Now again, this has got nothing to do wherein even till date you see some people are made to sit alone, the women during their monthly cycle, or they don't do anything, or maybe on the outhouse side they are being made to sit and so on. It was not like that. It is said that Draupadi, she needed rest during those 4 to 5 days of the month, and therefore in those times now people, the saris that we wear now, it used to be 4. Like how we have nowadays measurement 9, 10, 6 yards, 9 yards and so on. It used to be 4. You can say a different type of drape that they used to have. And during the monthly cycle, she used to wear just one entire garment, not exactly like a sari, like you can say a loose kind of a garment or comfortable clothes. So therefore in the Mahabharata it has been mentioned Ekavastradhara. This means she was during her monthly cycle times. So there should be no disturbance. She was in her inner chambers. Dushasana comes there and he tries to pull her. Draupadi says that no, I will not come, and on top of that, I am during this time of my month, you should not come near me, you should not come and trouble me. Dushasana did not leave all that. In spite of her condition, he comes and he pulls her with her hair. And you can see, this is a bit disturbing also, if you have seen or if you have read and so on. With her teeth, she tries now. It was Ekavastradhara. Remember, just one piece of cloth that had been wrapped about, and he kept on pulling her by her hair and by her clothes and so on. So she had to hold on to that. So therefore with her teeth she holds on to her sari because it is just one piece of garment. So and then but in spite of that, Dushasana does not leave all that. That is the reason why till date no woman should be touched with her hair. Nobody. Even till date we face no kind of domestic violence and so on. We should never pull the hair of anyone, especially women's hair. Even men's hair also, no hair should be pulled. Women's hair if anyone's is pulled, that person will straight go to Narakam, hell, destruction. Nothing more than that has to be said. So nobody should be touched on their hair at all. This is because of this Draupadi's incident. And then Draupadi later she makes a claim saying that I will leave my hair all open. That's why we say women should not leave their hair open. Usually when do we leave our hair open? In the case of Draupadi, when someone has to pull it, or during when someone dies also.
When someone dies, 10th day especially.
Yeah. So that is the times only when we leave our hair open. Of course, today for fashion and other things, people 90% they keep their hairs open. So this is some reasons why it is said that, because it signifies some ill omen. Hair should not be left open. So therefore Draupadi there she makes a claim. She tells Bhima that all my 5 husbands are sitting here. They all have lost themselves. Illegally also they have lost me, though they cannot lose me after losing themselves. Now I will braid my hair only with the blood of the chest of this Dushasana. And that's when it is said that in the Mahabharata, after Dushasana was killed, Bhima, he had smeared his hands with the blood of the chest of Dushasana, and with that he had braided the hair of Draupadi because of the insult that he had done. So now coming back, so this is the background story. Coming back, what is the relation with Aditya? There, when everything was lost, she saw all her 5 husbands have lost. Nobody is there. Dronacharya, Kripacharya, everyone on the names of Dharma, they are just sitting. But they can see Adharma in front of their eyes. Nobody reacted, nobody did anything. There what she did is, Shankachakra Gadapane, Dwarakanilayachyuta, Govinda Pundarikaksha Rakshamam Sharanagatam. With her hands, you would have seen the picture of Draupadi, with her hands raised up, Govinda, Govinda, she chanted. And this verse she chanted, Shankachakra Gadapane, Dwarakanilayachyuta, Govinda Pundarikaksha Rakshamam Sharanagatam. I surrender myself to you, you are the only one who can save me. She was in Hastinapura, today's Haryana. Krishna is in Dwaraka, today's Gujarat. He heard the cries of Draupadi, someone pleading to her, and from Dwaraka he ensured that garments are being sent to Draupadi. So when Dushasana kept on pulling her Ekavastram with her sari, more and more saris came about there. Now how this has happened? Dwaraka, Krishna was not present there physically, but just as the sun is there in one place. Now sun there, it's not that in the US we have a different sun, in Japan we have a different sun, in China we have a different sun, in India there is one sun. We don't have 4 suns. Sun is only one, S-U-N, sun. Sun god is only one. But being in India, China, Japan and so on, it is providing sunlight to everyone. It is taking care of everything. It is ensuring that crops are growing. It is taking care that life is taking place everywhere. Similarly, the Lord also, in the form of Aditya Narayana or in the form of Surya Narayana, Lord is only one. Though he is placed at one place, it does not need for him to be present physically everywhere. But in spite of that, he can take care of all his devotees. Therefore, this name, that is why the name Aditya has been told here to signify that the presence is not important. 4 places. Krishna is not here physically. How it has been taken place? Sun is also only one. It does not change. But the sun is there in the sky. It takes care of everything. But we don't question with regards to the sun because we can see the sun with our naked eyes, right? So we have the proof that the sun is there. We cannot see Lord Krishna with our naked eyes. Therefore, there questions come in. But here, just as the sun, he lives in one place in the sky, but he takes care, sun takes care of all the living beings around, all the living world around. Similarly, the Lord also, though he was far, though he is only one, it's not needed for him to be present physically, but wherever he is, he can take care of all his devotees. So just like the sun. Therefore, another name for the Lord is Adityaha. If we chant Adityaya Namaha, if this name is chanted, then we will be free from all dangers. Men who do the Sandhya Vandanam, this is the reason why we have to do the Sandhya Vandanam. Very, very important. Deyas Savitru Mandalavarte Narayana. Do many here do the Sandhya Vandanam? Whoever has a sacred thread. So there you chant this verse, right? Deyas Sada Savitru Mandala Madhyavarti Narayana Sarasija Sannivishtaha Keyuravan Makarakundalavan. No one? Where does this shloka come? Anyone knows? Men? Madhyanika.
With Sandhyavandanam it comes actually. In Sandhyavandanam it comes.
Correct. Sundarji, thank you. So it comes in the Madhyanikam, to be very, very specific. Madhyanikam, people who do in the afternoon. Sandhyavandanam directly in the Madhyanikam, during afternoon time. All the men chant here with reference to this Draupadi only. Now the Sandhyavandanam that we do, it is in praise of the sun god we say, but with reference to this Nama Aditya. Just as Aditya Narayana, sun stays in the sky and it supports the entire world, prayer to the sun indirectly it reaches to all the gods. Therefore Sandhyavandanam, though it is in praise of the sun, we say Gayatri Mantra and so on, Gayatri Devi or Veda Mata or sun god, but still it represents all the gods. Just as the sun is only one, but it can poster for the entire world. Similarly, the Lord is only one, but in the form of the sun, the Sandhyavandanam is done, that in the form of the sun I am praying to all the gods. So this Aditya Mandalaha, this is a significance that is there. To some significance goes even to the Sandhyavandanam that men do. Men should do, rather. Even the Madhyanikam. Madhyanikam is equally important. In the Madhyanikam only this mantra comes in. So ladies also, even if you are not doing the Sandhyavandanam, you must know such things. Now I have told you, so those who don't know, you must make a note of this. And again, the 10th chapter, if you see the screen, you have the reference. Aditya Anamaham Vishnu. Among the 12 Adityas, one is Vishnu. First is Vishnu. So in the 10th chapter, you have the reference, 10th chapter, 21st verse, wherein amongst different categories, the supreme is the Lord. That's what he says. So Aditya Anam Aham Vishnu. Among the 12 lords, among the 12 Adityas, I am the first Lord Vishnu. So this is the significance of this name. Now further, what did Krishna do? Coming back to the story, what did Krishna do now? It is said that from the wives of the Kauravas, all the Kauravas who were there, ladies wear the Mangalyam thread, the yellow color thread. Of course today we have chains that are there, but still we see some people, they still wear the yellow color thread. The yellow, that is the thread that is tied during the marriage times. So they don't remove that, right? Every year they, some people now we put it on the chain, but usually it is still kept. So it is said that the thread or the sari that was being made, they were all yellow color saris and yellow with a red color border. It has been mentioned here, wherein when Dushasana was pulling the threads, the saris were made from the threads of this Mangalyam thread of all the ladies, with a sign that your husbands are not going to live anymore. Therefore, yellow, it signifies the Mangalyam thread. Red signifies the Kunkuma that is applied on the Mangalyam thread. That is the reason why all the ladies, though you are not wearing the Mangalyam thread, even on the chain that is there, every morning and evening, those who are having your husbands of course, you must apply some Kunkuma on the Mangalyam. If you don't put it on the chain, on the dollar, that is the Mangalya Sutram that we have, you must do that. So these are all different significance, of course. So these are a few aspects that are there with regards to this name Aditya. And then the sari that was provided to Draupadi was made through the threads of all these wives of the Kauravas, showing that the end of the Kauravas is soon and now Draupadi is going to be saved. So this is the significance.
Lakshmi, can you please just explain this last part of that red and yellow thread?
The yellow thread is the Mangalyam thread that we wear, and red is the Kunkuma that is applied on the thread. Kunkuma you can consider even Sindhura. To Kunkuma has to be applied on the Mangalyam thread every day. And though we don't wear the thread anymore, on the chain that you wear, you have the dollar, right? The Mangalyam. You belong to any, you're a South Indian, North Indian, whatever Mangal Sutram that you have, the Kunkuma is applied on that, and that has to be applied. So every morning, evening or so, whoever wears it, some people wear it, some people don't wear it, but still you must apply the Kunkuma to show the signs of Saumangalyam. So that signifies this aspect of Draupadi, saying that the wives, the saris were, the thread was being removed from the Mangalya thread of those wives, signifying that their husbands will not live anymore. So Krishna had already given them a hint there. But here in the case of Draupadi, she got back all her 5 husbands and all her saris. Her life was also saved because she had the saris made from the yellow thread of the Mangalyam and red, which signifies marriage, which signifies Saubhagyam. Okay. So today time is up. We will stop here. Next Nama, it will take time. So in the next class we will continue. Next class will be held tomorrow. Okay. Om Shuklam Baradaram Vishnum Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Saraswati Namastobhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhar Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. So now Pushkarakshaha. Yesterday we saw till Adityaha. Next is Pushkarakshaha. The verse that is there. Swayambhu Shambhuradityaha. Swayambhu Shambhu Adityaha. Today we start with the next Nama. Pushkarakshaha. 4th Nama. Pushkarena upamite akshini yasya iti Pushkarakshaha. Akshini meaning ice. Pushkarena. Pushkaram. Now Pushpam literally means a flower. Pushkaram meaning a lotus. So one who's having eyes beautiful like a lotus, or one whose eyes are compared to a lotus, that is Pushkara Akshaha. Pushkarakshaha. Now another name for Lord Vishnu, Pushkarakshaha. Now let's see the story behind this. Now we have to go to the Ramayana reference for this. When Shurpanaka comes and meets Rama and Sita, so there we find that first she approaches Rama saying that I want to marry you, I'm in love with you, and so on. Now Rama says that no, I cannot marry you because I already have a wife, her name is Sita, and I have taken the wife of Ekapatni Vrata. So now this was very, very important because in those times people used to marry multiple times. So one person used to have many wives, one wife used to have many husbands. Like we have the Mahabharata reference, Draupadi, Panchapandavas, or even the Ramayana reference, Dashratha and his 3 wives. So, but Rama and Sita, they resolved to Ekapatni Vrata and Ekapati Vrata. So that because they knew that tomorrow in the Kali Yuga, people will look up to them as role models. So then if if you look up to Rama, then Rama only has married 10 times, why cannot I marry 10 times? So this question will pop in. So that is the reason Rama decided that let me go and further the rules of Ekapatni Vrata. Sita also decided the same, Ekapati Vrata. So here is when Shurpanakha comes, she approaches Rama, she tells directly, she proposes him saying that I am in love with you, you please marry me, and so on. So Rama says, I cannot do that because I have followed the Ekapatni Vrata, I am already married to Sita. But here I have my brother Lakshmana, if you want you can go and approach him. Now here a question comes to our mind, why this has to be told by Rama? Lakshmana is also married already, right? So being an elder brother that too, how can Rama go and tell that you go and ask Lakshmana? Now legally it is wrong, right? If Rama has taken Ekapatni Vrata, even all other 3 brothers have also taken the same. So then how can Rama tell that you go and ask Lakshmana? His wife is already there, though she is not present here, she is very much there in Ayodhya. Now this is because Rama told that, in this context, this question, why it has come here is, Rama feels that I have followed the dharma, or I have followed the rule of Ekapatni Vrata, but there is no compulsion for my brothers to do the same. It is his choice. So let him decide what he wants to do. If he wants to follow Ekapatni Vrata, from his mouth only let him tell that I am also married, I don't want to marry you, or whatever it is. So Shurpanakha, he tells that Shurpanakha, you go and ask my brother, he is also equal in beauty and everything to me. In fact, he is more beautiful, more courageous than me. You can ask. Now Shurpanakha, now Lakshmana, Rama and Lakshmana, they both used to look almost the same. And Shurpanakha said, that's fine. If Rama I don't get, I can try for Lakshmana. He also looks equally handsome. So why not go and take a chance? She goes and approaches Lakshmana. Lakshmana, he tells that now he tries to insult to his extent. Now he does not give any reference saying that I am married and so on. He tells that I myself have come to the forest, leaving aside the kingdom, riches, my own wife and so on. And here I have come to serve Rama and Sita as my own parents, as my father and mother. If you are also ready to serve as a dasi, you can come and join me. And this was a very grave insult on Shurpanakha. You come and serve as a dasi. This she could not accept. But then still she did not give up. She said that all the root cause of this is this Sita. Because of Sita, Rama is not marrying me. And because of this Sita, Lakshmana also has to put in double efforts to take care of her and so on. So therefore, the problem is the Sita, let me eat this Sita up. So that's when Lakshmana, we know, he comes and he cuts off the nose and ears of Shurpanakha. And then she rushes to Janasthana, Khara and Dushana. And there she goes and cries out to the brothers. Now both the brothers are shocked to see their sister in this way with her ears and nose chopped off. They ask her what happened, who did this? And then she describes there, Taruna Urupa Sampannau, Sukumarau Mahabalau, Pundarika Vishalakshau, Chira Krishna Jinambarau. Two youthful, very handsome men with bow and arrow in their hand, very handsome to look at, with lotus-like eyes. Now who will describe a Shatru in this way? But this is the Mahima of Rama and Lakshmana, that even an enemy or even a person whose ears and nose were chopped off, even she also describes Rama and Lakshmana in this way. So this itself shows their significance. This itself shows their importance or their greatness. Tarunau Rupa Sampannau Sukumarau Mahabalau Pundarika Vishalakshau. There she gives reference to Pundarika Vishala, meaning lotus-like eyes. That's how this name has come here, Pushkaraksha, meaning one having lotus-like eyes. Shurpanakha has given this reference when she explained it to Khara and Dushana. These two men are there having lotus-like eyes and very handsome to look at, very courageous, valorous and so on. So here that's how this name has come, Pushkaraksha. She describes to Khara and Dushana. So this is a part of the story, how this name Pushkaraksha, meaning one having lotus-like eyes, comes in. Now logically also Rama could not marry Shurpanakha at all. Now Shurpanakha was such a lady. Now I'm just giving you a rough calculation. Now Rama, when Shurpanakha comes and approaches Rama at that time was about roughly 37 years old. Now how we have to calculate? At the age of 12 he married Sita. It is said that next 12 years they spent happily living in Sita. 12 plus 12, 24. 24 years, at the age of 24 they set out for Vanavasa. 13 years are already done. 13 years of Vanavasa. In the 13th year only Shurpanakha comes, and only in the last year is when all the Rama Ravana Yuddha and all that happens. So 13 years already Rama, Sita and Lakshmana have stayed happily in the forest. So 24 plus 13, 37. So at the age of 37 Shurpanakha has come and approached Rama. But if you see the age of Shurpanakha, we get the reference not in the Valmiki Ramayana but in the Bhavabhuti Ramayana. Bhavabhuti Ramayana, if all of you get a chance sometime in life, you must experience Bhavabhuti Ramayana, written by a very great Sanskrit scholar and poet called Bhavabhuti, one of the greatest Sanskrit poets, like after Kalidasa, Bhasa, Bhavabhuti, Harsha and so on. So one of these great Sanskrit poets is this Bhavabhuti. So in his Ramayana, he has also written a Ramayana, and in the Ramayana we get the reference of the age of Shurpanakha. What was the age of Shurpanakha? There he mentions Aneka Yuga Jeevinyam Tretayasyam Trayodashi Eka Chaturyugam. So here this reference he gives, Aneka Yuga Jeevinyam. This lady has been living for many yugas together. Tretayasyam Trayodashi. This Treta Yuga. Now Rama has come in the Treta Yuga. That is her Trayodashi. That is her 13th Treta Yuga. So if you see in the case of Shurpanakha, she did not have death at all. So mainly now in those times, if you see, Rama also lived for 10,000 years. So only in the Kali Yuga now, human beings, we have an average lifespan of about 100 years. But as per different yugas, the age span also differs. So the Shurpanakha, so you imagine her age, almost one Chaturyugam. So that is more than 43 lakhs that is there. Now what is one Chaturyugam? If this is her 13th Treta Yuga. Now when does a Treta Yuga come? There are 4 yugas. So now all these calculations we must know. Only then you can make out the full meaning. 4 yugas, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. It is said that this is her 13th Treta Yuga. That means she has experienced so many Chaturyugas till now. 13 Treta Yuga, so many Chaturyugas. One Chaturyuga One Chaturyuga is about approximately 43 lakh years. 43 lakh into 13, this is our 13th Treta Yuga. 43 into 13, you can calculate and see. So this is her age that is there, and our Rama is just 37 years of old. How is this logically even possible? So on a lighter note, Bhavabhuti cries out this in his Ramayana, which is called as Bhavabhuti Ramayana. But here, still, in spite of Shurpanaka having approached Rama, Lakshmana and so on, still later when she goes and describes, in spite of the insult being done on her, she describes Rama in a very good way. Tarunavrupa Sampannau Sukumaro Mahabalau Pundarika Vishalakshau Chira Krishna Janambarau. This shloka comes in the Rama Raksha Stotram, written by Buddha Kaushika. So there, and also in many other stotras also. So here references one who is a lotus-eyed one. So even we also, if we chant this nama, Pushkarakshaya Namaha, this is the nama that has to be chanted. Then no kind of eye illnesses or eye problems. Many of us, we face eye problems also. So we will be free from all kinds of eye illnesses and eye problems. So this is the significance of this nama, Pushkarakshaya Namaha. Okay. So now the point is, one is this, just you look at the simple story of Shurpanaka, she comes and approaches Rama, Lakshmana, she describes them and goes away. But the background reference that is there, wherein some age is mentioned of Shurpanaka, or the calculation can be done. You get some reference not only from the Valmiki Ramayana but also from other sources like the Bhavabhuti Ramayana. That's where everything seems to be authentic, or there is no place, there is no question for doubts at all. Everywhere all our doubts are clear, and of course our own knowledge also increases. So the point is why I give you this detailed references. Whenever we try to look at something, don't just have an overview on it. You can also delve a bit deeper and see how things have been happened or how facts have been mentioned. So thing is, we must not limit our knowledge. Okay, Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. No, we have so many Ramayanas that are there. Like this, one of this is Bhavabhuti Ramayana. Okay. So for Ramayana, if you have to delve into more and more stories, one is the most famous is Bhavabhuti Ramayana. Another is the Ramayana stories written by Bhasa. Bhasa has written almost, I suppose, 3 or 4 natakas, 3 or 4 dramas based on the Ramayana, Pratigna and so on. Pratima. So like this, not Pratigna, Pratima. So like this, there are a few stories which he has written. Of course, now Bhasa, to some extent, he uses his own imagination also. So now, when the question comes of which is authentic or which is 100% correct, of course, we must refer to the Valmiki Ramayana because it is an Arsha Mahakavyam. That which is written by sages is Arsha. That's why in the Ramayana you have Ityarshe, Iti Arshe, Srimad Ramayane, Valmikiye, Adikavye, Ayodhya Kande or Sundara Kande and so on. So that is where the reference comes in. So for authentic, which is the most true, or what should I refer to? If you have 10 Ramayanas, 10 might have 10 different references. So which is most authentic? Then for that, Prathama Pramanam, Valmiki Ramayana. But that doesn't mean we limit our knowledge there. What is mentioned in other Ramayanas, we can surely check. Okay, so coming back to our topic, Pushkarakshaya Namaha. This is a Nama meaning one having lotus-like eyes. Okay, did everyone understand this Nama? Yes?
Yes, Lakshmi.
Okay.
Lakshmi, Bhavabhuti, or I couldn't get the name.
Bhavabhuti. Bhavabhuti is the name of a person.
Okay, Bhavabhuti, no?
Bhavabhuti is the Ramayana written by him as Bhavabhuti Ramayana.
Bhavabhuti. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, Mahaswanaha. Sorry?
That one is written in English or Sanskrit?
Sanskrit. Bhavabhuti is Sanskrit. Oh, everything is written in Sanskrit. Bhavabhuti is...
English version of the same?
Yeah, you will get some translations and all that. That is fine. But originally it is in Sanskrit only. Like he is also a very old poet. Bhavabhuti is also an old poet, not a modern one. Of course, you get those translations. Translation will be available. You can just check some online sources. Translation books and everything might be available in English, but the original source is Sanskrit. Okay, next. Mahaswanaha. What is this Mahaswanaha? Mahan Pujitaha Swanaha Nadaha va Shruti Lakshanaha Yasya sa Mahaswanaha. One to whom belongs the great Nada. Nada. It's actually not Nada. Nada. Nada is literally a sound that is made. We have Nadaswaram, we say, right? So basically what exactly is this Nadaswaram is, it is compared to the neighing or kneeing, what you call that, of a horse. The sound that is made by a horse. Neighing, whatever it is. Neighing, I suppose. So that is Nadaha. So that sound is Nadaha. So one the Vedas are compared to this nadaha, this sound by which is given by horses. Now how so? Let us have a look at it. Now Brahma, we know Brahma is the creator. Vishnu had given him the work of creation. So at some point of time, Brahma became proud, saying that I am only the creator, I am only the leader, I have only created the entire mankind, living creatures and so on. So he became proud. So at that time it so happened that, and he was the one who had returned the 4 Vedas. He had the 4 Vedas with him in his hands and so on. So everywhere he was given a lot of respect. He considered himself to be great. So then at that time there were 2 demons who came in, Madhu and Kaitaba. So these 2 demons came and they snatched the Vedas from Brahma and they went away. At that time Brahma realized that I'm such a fool, I just become proud of what I have, but I forget that I cannot even save the Vedas. How the demons came, how they snatched it from my hand, I don't know. So what happened is that at that time he ran to Vishnu. Again he said that this is what was happened. I had been sitting with the Vedas in my hands, but these 2 demons they came and that's how they took away all the 4 Vedas from me. Now you only have to save me. So Vishnu at that time he decides that okay, I'll save you. I have to incarnate on the earth as Hayagriva. That's how we have the Hayagriva avatar that is taken place. Hayagriva, if you see the Hayagriva, Hayaha Griva, Hayaha meaning horse, Hayaha Yasya Grivaha, Saha Hayagrivaha. One having a neck or one having the face of a horse, Grivaha neck actually. So one having the face of a horse, that is Hayagrivaha. So Vishnu took an incarnation as Hayagriva and then he came, he killed both the demons Madhu and Kaitaba, and then that's how all the Vedas were saved from him. So and then after saving the Vedas, Swanaha or this Nadaha, Mahaswanaha, why it is translated Swanaha meaning the reciter of the Vedas. So from the horse-faced god, that is from Hayagriva, we have got all the 4 Vedas which were taught to Brahma, or you can say which were returned back to Brahma, and Brahma again passed on. So after killing both the demons Madhu and Kaitaba, the Lord in the form of Hayagriva, Swanaha meaning he recited all the Vedas or he taught all the Vedas back to Brahma, he returned it to Brahma, and then Brahma continued the propagation of Vedas. So that is the reason why Lord Hayagriva is called the Lord of Studies or Lord of Knowledge. So that's why students and children, now the board exams and everything is on, you must chant the Hayagriva stotram that is there. Hayagriva, there are a few stotras for Hayagriva, or the most common Gayatri mantra that we have. Vagishwaraya vidmahe Hayagrivaya dhimahi tanno hamsah prachodayat. This is a Hayagriva Gayatri which has to be chanted not only by students but for anyone. But because why Hayagriva is compared, he is along with Lord Goddess Saraswati. Why he is also called the God of Knowledge? Reason being, he was the one who recovered, he brought back the Vedas from the demons. And Swanaha meaning one who has taught the Vedas, one who has recited the Vedas back to Brahma, he returned it to Brahma. Therefore that noise is called Swanaha. So that's how this name is Mahaswanaha. Mahaswanaha meaning the great God or the great Hayagriva who has returned back the Vedas, who has taught the Vedas to the entire world, who has propagated knowledge to the entire world in the form of the 4 Vedas. And the Swanaha literally means neighing, the sound that the horse makes. So the Nama here is Mahaswanaya Namaha. If this Nama is chanted for good studies, children will study well, and mainly to remember. Studying is not needed, right? We study everything at home, but in the exam we have to remember. That's how it happens. No, I had read everything, but there I didn't remember anything. I got confused. So that should not happen. To remember what we have studied, that is also equally important. So for good studies, for good learning, so basically for knowledge, Mahaswanaya Namaha, this name has to be chanted. And along with this Nama, the Hayagriva Gayatri also, some people you can chant it. You can make it a practice.
Can you tell the Gayatri, madam?
Yes, I will. Vagishwaraya vidmahe Hayagrivaya dhimahi tanno hamsah prachodayat. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So here, this Gayatri also it can be chanted. So as a part of our daily worship also, when we chant a few prayers, this Gayatri mantra also it can be chanted. Maybe about once or thrice you can, as you want you can do. Okay. So this is with regards to Mahaswanaya Namaha. Next Nama.
Pushkaraksha, you didn't share the chanting now.
Pushkarakshaya Namaha. Free from all illness. Eye illnesses. Okay. Pushkarakshaya Namaha. Next is
Lakshmi, Pushkaraksha free from
eye illnesses. Eye problems.
Okay. Thank you.
Mahaswana. Next is Anadi Nidhanaha. Pushkaraksho Mahaswanaha Anadi Nidhanaha. Anadi literally means from long. Anadi, Adi Kalaha. Anadi meaning from long. Like there is no end at all. Or from where it has started we don't know. From long years ago that we say. So what exactly is this Anadi Nidhanaha? That means one who does not change right from birth till death. Now Anadi Nidhanaha literally here is referred to Lord Krishna. Now what is that? Adihi Janma Nidhanam Vinashaha Tadvayam Yasya na Vidyate Saha Anadi Nidhanaha. One to whom birth is not there, one to whom there is no death, that is Anadi Nidhanaha. This is none but God. So mainly whenever we say God has incarnated, we don't say God is born, right? So we celebrate, now when all of us are born, we say a child is born. We don't say a child has incarnated. No. The rest we say Krishna has incarnated. We have Krishna Avataraha, Rama Avataraha. Avataraha meaning the Lord has come down. So though to seem to the world that he is born, of course biologically through the mother's womb, be it through Kaushalya, be it through Aditi, be it through Devaki and so on, though the Lord is born, still he is born as per his own will. Again, as we have discussed many times, as Krishna mentions to Arjuna also in the Gita, that I am born out of my own will. I am not responsible. You don't have to put in some special efforts for me to be born. At the right time, I will surely be born. So one whose birth and death is not defined, one who remains the same right from beginning till end, that is this Anadi Nidhanaha. For this, there is no specific story as such, but the entire life sketch of Krishna we have to look at. Right from the time he was born in the jail, but when he was born also, he was born with 4 hands, like Lord Vishnu himself. So he incarnated in the same way as the Lord. So that's when Devaki tells, no, you please put your hands inside, otherwise put your extra 2 hands inside, otherwise Kamsa will know that you are Vishnu himself. So that's when he does that. Then he is born with the Srivatsa, Vanamala, all the ornaments, with all the teeth also. So that also is something marvelous. You don't have to put in some, now for a normal child, it takes some time for the teeth to grow. But in the case of Krishna, he was born with all the teeth also. So that again is something marvelous. Then Vasudeva, when he sets out all the jail gates, Yamuna also offers him pave. That again is something very unique. So all these things were being decided by the Lord before he was born. So usually in all our cases what happens is that after a child is born is where we start different preparations, right? To maybe go and buy clothes or all the other things that are needed for a child, or the child teeth and other parts of the body and everything, slowly they start developing, slowly they start growing only after a child is born. But in the case of Anadi Nidhanaha, that is one who has no birth or there is no destruction, he remains the same. That's why you see even towards the end, now Krishna lived for so many years or Rama lived for 10,000 years. Never we find a reference that Rama has grown old, right? Rama has grey hair coming in, because they were as fresh or as young as they were right from the time they were born till the time they have died. So that is because they can choose when I can take birth, that is when I can incarnate, and at the same time when I can die. So my birth as well as destruction can be decided by the Lord, and one who decides. So when the time had come for Rama Avatara to end, at that time some things do pay the way. Like for example, Durvasa comes in, Lakshmana has to go first. So if you look at the story now, in the Uttara Ramayanam, you have this story wherein Lakshmana is banished from the kingdom. That's when he stops Durvasa, because Yama had come there. So I'll just give you some reference to that. Yamaraja had come there, and Yamaraja told that he comes to meet Rama, and he comes in the form of a sage. So at that time, Rama, he tells that nobody should listen the conversation between us. So therefore, Rama calls Lakshmana. He tells Lakshmana that you stand at the gates and do not allow anyone. You yourself also should not come inside at any cost. Let anything happen, but you should not move. Lakshmana agrees, but then at that time Durvasa comes there. Now Durvasa, we know his nature. So then he said, no, how dare you stop me? So Lakshmana says that no, something, it's really urgent, my brother has stopped me. So therefore, please, you wait here, let him finish and then you can go inside. Durvasa says, you don't know of my powers, you don't know of my anger. If I curse, this entire Ayodhya will come to an end, including your Rama, Lakshmana, your entire kingdom, all your mothers, wives, children and so on. Now Lakshmana is terrified. He forgets, or he just gives up on the promise made to Rama, and he enters inside. Immediately Rama is shocked to see. Rama says, all through your life you have always listened to me. Now I have you disobeyed my orders. What is the reason for this? Lakshmana said that Lakshmana tells him everything, that Durvasa said so and so, that everything will be destructed. So then I did not have an option, I have to come. So with this, Yamadharma Raja, he leaves from there. Dharma, he leaves from there. And immediately he vanishes from there. And Rama said that I have already promised to Dharma Raja, that if anything comes here, if anyone comes and interrupts, that person will be banished from this kingdom. And from now on, I will have no relation, no connection with you. Lakshmana, now we know Lakshmana, right from the time when he was born till they went to Vanavasa, they came back to Ayodhya and so on. Lakshmana was always with Rama. He was the one who was ready to give up on everything, give up on anything for the sake of Rama. So then he could not bear banishment or bear being far away from Rama or bear all ties broken with Rama. So therefore he decides that I'll only leave and I'll attain Jala Samadhi. So that's when he goes and he attains Samadhi after getting into the Sarayu river. And finally then Rama Avatara also ends. Now why this had to be taken place? Why Lakshmana had to die first? Because we know that Lakshmana is Sheshanaga. If Rama Avatara has to end, Rama has to ascend to Vaikuntha. And at that time, where will he go? Sheshanaga is not there. Where will he go and sleep? Where will he go and sit? Where will he go and stay? So for that, Lakshmana had to go. So for Lakshmana to go, such a story or such a scene was created so that Lakshmana can go first and later Rama can come and Rama Avatara can end. So like this, Anadi Nidana is the one wherein plans are made from before. So when we look at some things in our lives, what happens is each and everything is dependent on the previous thing, right? For example, in our own lives, if you see, I finish my education. Based on my education, I have to look for a job. Based on my job, I have to look for my next job. Based on the next job, I have to look for the next job. Or for any other thing also, we are dependent on different things, right? Dependent on our family, or few family members are dependent on us. So every way we have to look at something behind. But in the case of God, it does not happen that way. Things are pre-planned, things can be decided as per His will. So because there is no birth, there is no destruction at any time, He can decide when He can be born, He can decide when He wants to die. So here it is said that in Rama Avatara, Rama forgets that my Avatara is over, let me ascend back. Because in Ayodhya, everything seemed to be very happy. And this is one of the reasons why even before Lakshmana, Goddess Mahalakshmi had ascended heaven through the nether worlds. That's why Sita, she went inside Bhumi Devi. That's when through the earth she has already ascended to Vaikuntha. She made all the arrangements for Vishnu to come back. Then Sheshanaga goes in the form of Lakshmana, and then ultimately Rama ascends to Vaikuntha in the form of Vishnu. So all these are, though it seems to be like a story, all these things are played. They play different parts in setting a whole picture. So that's when Anadi Nidanaha, this name, mainly what it signifies is that we as normal human beings, we cannot decide on anything. As life throws things at us, throws opportunities, you accept it, throws problems, you accept it. We don't have an option. Of course, after something happens, be it good or bad, we can think solutions for that, or we can experience either you enjoy pain or sorrow, pleasure or happiness. That is in our hands. But what will happen to me or what can happen to me, this is not in our hands. Today, this moment I am sitting, next moment I don't know what will happen. Whereas in the case of God, because He is Anadi Nidanaha, anything can happen based as per His will. Therefore, this Nama, Anadi Nidhanaya Namaha, if this Nama is chanted, all of us also, although we cannot be born as per our will and we cannot die as per our will, but throughout our life we will always be young and fresh. Now that doesn't mean that I'll have no grey hairs coming in, or I'll never grow old, I'll never die, but having a very good attitude towards life, to having the good power of accepting whatever comes our way, be it good or bad. So mainly enjoying and being happy, having peace of mind, that is a Phalashruti of this Nama, Anadi Nidhanaya Namaha. Okay. Did everyone understand this? Yes.
Lakshmi, in this context, can you tell us that in Krishna Avatara, before that hunter hits his toe and then he leaves to Vaikuntha, when exactly Balarama goes, I just not able to recollect that.
See, Balarama, now in the case of Balarama, what happens is that Balarama, when the Gada Yuddham takes place between Duryodhana and Bhima, and when Bhima breaks the rules of Gada Yuddham, that is a place where Bhima gets very, very angry. Now, Bhima is the guru of Duryodhana who had taught him Gada Yuddham. So, when Bhima breaks the rules by hitting Duryodhana on his thigh. At that time he saw Krishna. Krishna had made some actions, eye movements, and that's when Bhima hits the thigh of Duryodhana. He did not like this, and at that time he leaves to Badrikashrama saying that I don't want to live in this place at all. Everyone is treacherous, everyone is cheating here. Krishna, right from the time he is born, he is into cheating, so I cannot live here. He goes to Badrikashrama, it is mentioned, and ultimately from Badrikashrama, he, by doing tapas, like Uddhava, by doing tapas, he ascends Vaikuntha. So this is one reference.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
And then later, of course, Krishna Avatara ends. Okay. Now, why here now there is a significance? The reason being, in the case of Rama Avatara, after Lakshmana ascends to heaven, immediately Rama also ascends. It's not a major gap that is there. But in the case of Balarama and Krishna, Krishna had to wait for a few more days. Like for example, after Duryodhana and everyone is killed, for some more time he had stayed with the Pandavas. So why this gap? Why Balarama went first and then Krishna went? For this there are two reasons. One is, in the case of Lakshmana, he attained direct Jala Samadhi in the river Sarayu, because he was banished from the kingdom. He could not bear that sorrow, he could not bear the separation from Rama. Directly he had to ascend to Vaikuntha. But in the case of Balarama, he did not have any other problems. It was only his anger, it was only the grudge that he had, that rules had been broken, and he was one who was very stringent on rules. So therefore he went to Badrikashrama, and to do tapas and meditation, it takes time. It's not that I sit today and today itself I get samadhi, I ascend to Vaikuntha. No, that doesn't happen that way. So it takes some time. So therefore Krishna had to wait for some more time. This is one reason. Second reason is to make the curse of Gandhari true. As per references, Gandhari had cursed that you have killed, or you are the one who are responsible for killing all my 100 sons, all my 100 Kauravas. You have supported the Pandavas. Even the Kauravas were also like your cousins, like your brothers, like your friends. But still you supported the Pandavas. Here Krishna was not wrong. But still Gandhari had cursed Krishna. And as per astrological references, as per Jyotisha Shastram, 35 years approximately after the Kurukshetra war, Krishna had to be died. Krishna had to die. So he had to wait for those 35 years because Gandhari had cursed him, saying that 35 years from today you will die. So therefore, to make such things happen, Krishna had to wait. So therefore the Lord, so Anadi Nidhanaya Namaha, this name signifies that for us, we don't have to think of all such things. Whatever comes our way, we accept it. Problems are coming, we find solutions. Some good things are coming, we enjoy and experience that. But in the case of God, he has to think about everything. Oh, Gandhari's curse is there, I have to wait for that. Balarama is doing tapas, I have to wait for that. Pandavas are ascending towards Kailasa, I have to have a look at that. So all other things. Then the Yadava clan had to be vanished, so therefore Krishna had to take care, wherein the Yadavas, they pick up a blade of grass and ensure that they only indulge in fights with each other and ultimately killed, because the Yadava clan had to die due to some curse. So therefore all things have to be put in place, then only the avatara can end. So therefore when we say that Rama Avatara, Krishna Avatara, they are all gods, they are great people and so on, the thing, one is, okay, they are gods, we are worshipping them, that is one thing. But second reason why we are worshipping these people is, or these gods is, for the efforts that they have put in, for whose sake? For our sake, for establishing dharma back. So it's not very easy. For us, even 1, 2, 3 things we have to manage, it is a problem. How much I will do, everything I have to only do, we go and shout at people, right? But for the Lord, nothing should go false. If someone has given a curse, that curse has to come in. Now in the case of Gandhari also, Krishna had not done anything wrong. Gandhari's sons were evil, they attained that faith. But then for a mother losing her children, there is nothing great more than that. She will not at that time think my son is bad or my son is evil or so on. Anyway, Krishna Avatara had to end. So Krishna did not lose anything, but still he had to make the curse of Gandhari also true. So that's when he had to face a lot of problems, and ultimately Krishna Avatara ends. Okay, and then one more case, Krishna Avatara, Uddhava says that no, if you go back to Vaikuntha now, what will happen? After Dwapara Yuga, next is Kali Yuga, still problems are going to arise. Now only things have settled, you have killed Kamsa, all the demons, now only people are living happily. Immediately now Kali Yuga will come, and if you also go away, still problems will come in. So how will the people survive? So then Krishna says that no, I will not go back to Vaikuntha, I will ascend myself in the Srimad Bhagavatam book. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, those who read the Srimad Bhagavatam, I am only a form of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why till date we believe that Krishna lives in the Srimad Bhagavatam book. That's why we must worship the Srimad Bhagavatam by keeping it in the puja room. So these are all different significance. So now again, Uddhava's wish.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you so much.
Uddhava's wish also has to be fulfilled now by ascending himself into the Srimad Bhagavatam book. So like this, there are so many references wherein to Anadi nidanaha, though we say that he can decide his birth and he can decide his death, on the basis of what? Not by his own will. Okay, tomorrow I feel like taking birth, day after tomorrow I feel like coming back to Vaikuntha. It doesn't happen that way. All his devotees or whatever has been done, be it a curse or be it something good, be it a blessing or be it a prayer, everything the Lord has to keep in mind, and based on that he has to decide. Okay, so Anadi Nidanaya Namaha. The Phalashruti is, we'll also always have a very good positive attitude towards life. That is a Phalashruti. Okay, is this clear till here, this Nama?
Yes, yes.
Okay, next. Dhata. Anantadi Rupena Vishwam Vibharti iti Dhata. One who supports the entire universe in the form of Ananta, that is Sheshanaga, and others is Dhata. So that is Lord Vishnu himself. But here now, as per the story that we have, Dhata, this Dhata literally means a creator. So though Vishnu was the one who is responsible for all creation, still he had given this responsibility to Brahma, saying that you take care of the creation part. You are the one who is responsible for creation. Ensure that all the living creatures, mankind, trees, rivers, everything is born properly. So therefore in this context, Brahma is a true Dhata. Now for this, we have a story. Again coming back to the Ramayana reference. Now along with Vishwamitra, we know that Rama and Lakshmana had gone. So Vishwamitra had mainly taken the two princes because he was doing a lot of sacrifices, and many demons and Rakshasas used to come and throw in skulls, skeletons, flesh and things of all these sorts. So then there used to be a lot of disturbance and all their sacrifices could not be performed properly. So that's when Rama and Lakshmana, they decide to save the sacrifice, save Vishwamitra's sacrifice, and ensure that all the sages can do their yagas and everything properly. So that's when many demons were killed, and ultimately Subahu and Maricha, they also come here. Now here, what happens is that Subahu we know is killed, whereas Maricha, he was left. Maricha, Rama hits an arrow and he falls at a distance, but still he is alive, he is not dead. So then the next question comes here. So a few people used to ask Rama, you killed Subahu, why you did not kill Maricha? It was needed, right? He also did the same thing, he was also a demon, but why you saved him? So the Lord here, he says that I am Dhata. Dhata is the one, I am the creator, or I am the one who is supporting this universe. I know what is going to happen tomorrow. So he says that in the later part of the Ramayana, when Sita is going to be abducted, Ravana will need the help of Maricha. He is going to go and approach Maricha, and only if Maricha assumes the form of a deer, only then I in the form of Rama can run behind him. Only then Ravana will come in the form of a sage and abduct Sita, and only then the future part of the Ramayana will take place, the later part of the Ramayana. Only then Ravana, Kumbhakarna, all the other demons will be killed and the world will be brought at peace. So there has to be some instrument that is it. Now in science we have something called a catalyst, right? What exactly is a catalyst? It is not responsible for any reaction. It is not a part of the reaction or an experiment. It just ensures that the experiment takes place, right? Or the reaction takes place. So it is not exactly a part. It does not contribute to anything, but it just stays there. Because of it, like a medium you can consider. So Maricha also has to be a medium. Therefore, I ensure that he was not killed, but he was wounded in such a way, because later Ravana is going to come and help him. So it's not that he is not going to be killed. So now here a second question comes. Does that mean that even to some demons you are partial and some demons you are not partial? Ultimately, Maricha also died later, but in the form of a deer. Now here what happened is that Maricha had transformed into a sage. He was a person who was very good later when he realized that Rama had not killed him, he had saved him. So he had a thought in his mind that, oh, I was saved, so that surely means that this is my chance wherein I can improve. I have recognized my mistake, and I must improve here. But then again Ravana comes there and he taunts him, no, you have to do this for me, and so on. So that's when again his mind changes. When his mind changes, there is no second chance that is given. Ultimately he was killed by Rama. So destruction because of your deeds, punishment surely you are going to get. But of course the Lord gives a chance. And such things, so-called Leela as we call, that had to be played by the Lord so that the later part of the Ramayana can be decided. So Dhata is the one, though our destiny or a few things happen in life wherein today we don't understand why a few things have happened, but later in life we realize that their importance is great, or why so and so thing happened today. That's when we realize later that, oh, 50 years before I had done this, today it is being useful to me. Or maybe I'll give you an example. All these years I was chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama, but now only at the age of 50, 60 or so, I know the meaning of each name. Most of you might know it from earlier. I'm just giving you an example. So, like this, maybe 10, 50 years down the lane, you're chanting Vishnu Sahasranama right from childhood, but you never knew the meanings. Or you never felt like, okay, why should I know the meanings also? Or even though you felt you did not get a chance. Or you just kept on chanting, you did not have the time. So like this, all of us also, or in my case also, I might have taught Vishnu Sahasranama, the chanting part, for so many times. Then I never felt like telling the meanings. Only now I felt that I should tell the meanings. So what falls in place, we never know. So Dhata is a person when things surely happen, or a few things happen wherein we don't understand in the first go why so and so thing has happened, but later in life it becomes useful. Just as in the case of Maricha, he was not killed by Rama in the first go, he was killed later because he was needed. He was a medium to ensure that the later part of Ramayana can take place. Now only if the later part of Ramayana would have taken place, we will have the epic in the form of Ramayana. Otherwise the story is not interesting. Okay, the four princes are born, then they go along with Vishwamitra, then the Sita Swayamvara takes place, Kaikeyi's mind changes, they go to Vanavasa, they live for 14 years and come back. What is the use of Vanavasa then? We'll not get the Ramayana. Ravana remains, Kumbhakarna remains, all the demons are there. So some things have to be put. So for the main Ramayana to form, yes, Vidhata is the next word. I'll tell you that. You are asking the Hindi word Vidhata. Vidhata, God. Yes, that has come from here only. So one who is responsible. So mainly Dhata is the one like a creator in the form of Brahma, and Vidhata is one level high, that is Lord Vishnu. One, you can say, like the father of Dhata. So that is the difference between Dhata and Vidhata. So
Thank you, Lakshmiji.
yeah. So further, so this is the meaning of this word Dhata, wherein, and the first go. So learning for all of us is, whatever happens in life, in the first go, we might not always understand. We might not get reasons for why something is happening, but later in life, it might not be immediate. It might take even a few years, but later we surely realize why so and so thing has happened. So Dhata literally means is, now here this reference that I told you, it comes in the Manju Ramayana. Why Maricha is not killed, that reason comes in the Manju Ramayana, not in the Valmiki Ramayana. Make a note of that if you need. So mainly Dhata is the one, like you can say, one who has a control, or one who, you can say, one who designs our destiny. So like that is Dhata. So Dhatre Namaha. Dhatre Namaha. If we chant this Nama, the Phalashruti is, we'll have growth wherever we go. In a professional life, personal life, spiritual life, whatever it is, we can experience growth in all stages of life. That is the Phalashruti of this Nama, Dhatre Namaha. So Dhatre Namaha is literally like a controller or a representative, or one who designs why certain things have happened, or okay, few things have to be happened this way, few things should happen this way. Like, so I'll give you a very simple example. In our everyday life also, if there is a project, say for example a group project, 5 or 6 students, school students are doing it together. Each one of them will have their own opinions, right? No, we'll do it together. Or this is a project that is there. Each one will have their own. They will assign each their own responsibilities. You bring this, you bring a chart paper, you bring some pen, you bring glue, you bring out information about this, you bring out some pictures, you bring out some printouts. So everything is decided, right? And then ultimately a few things are put in place. So Dhata also literally means everything has been predestined, everything has been decided by us. Only things are just put in place. So one who puts this place, or one who ensures that things will happen at the right time. Now why? That's why we say miracles, right? No, everything has happened, but still, now I'll give you one more example for this. Now Vishnu Sahasranama, meanings. 1000 meanings, 1008 names, 1000 names of the Lord. We are going to look at the meanings. 9:30 to 10:30, I plan that we are going to look at 10 names. 10 names, I note down everything. Okay, these are the names we have to speak and so on. Ultimately, it ends up in only 5 names. So I had planned for 10, but only 5 were this time. So who? Now this is a very simple example. So now here I can give a reason, maybe due to time constraints, or maybe I spoke a lot, or maybe people questioned a lot, or maybe the elaboration went on. For few namas, explanation was too long. So later I might find out reasons why from 10 I had planned, why it remained only 5. So this, though I can make out conclusions, one conclusion which is made is, or the ultimate conclusion is, by the Lord it was decided that only 5 namas you have to chant. or 5 namas only should be spoken by today. Remaining 5 you can look at it later. Now this is an everyday example. When it takes place on a high scale, for example in life also, if we wish for 10 things, if we get only 5 things, that means there always we don't have reasons. Like in the case of Vishnu Sahasranama here, I will have reasons, okay, maybe my explanation was elaborate, or maybe someone questioned, or maybe time was less, and so on. So I'll have answers, I'll have reasons why out of 10 only 5 I can speak. But in case of life, okay, I wanted all this but I got only 5. I was expecting about 10 lakh per annum, I got only 8 lakh. So what is the reason for this? So they will give you some reason, no, this is what we can afford, this is our budget, and so on. Those such reasons are given. Still always we don't get answers, right? Or say for example, we expect something in life, 10, 15 things I want. By the age of 60, I want all this. It's not that all things we accomplish. And many times when we look back, why I did not get something, many times we don't get an answer. We accept that as destiny. So one who does this as destiny, one who gives you what you deserve, one who does not give you a few things, that is all done by this Dhata. Who is this Dhata? He is the Lord himself. Dhata in the form of Brahma. Okay, did everyone understand this Nama? So mainly things we get as per our requirements and time. Many times we don't know reasons why things don't happen, so that has to be accepted as destiny. But note here one thing, that doesn't mean that on each and everything we give up. This is destiny. Some people will say, no, this is what has to be happen. From our side, we have to put in 200% efforts. Now, for example, in my case, if I tell you out of 10 namas, if I can say 5, in the next class, I must surely see that I can conclude at least 6 namas or 7 namas. No, 5 only is possible, I will talk only 5. So, I must find out the solutions, where I am going wrong or where I am lacking, and so on. From our side, obviously, efforts have to be put so that destiny can be changed. We cannot always just blame on destiny. But still, from my side, even if 100-200% efforts are put in, still if things don't work, then that is a work of Dhata. You leave it to the will of God. Okay. Next is Vidhata. What is Vidhata? Now Vidhata, Dhata I told you is a creator in the form of Brahma, that is the Lord himself. And Vidhata is Lord Vishnu himself. Vishnu himself is responsible for creation, but he has assigned some responsibilities. Out of that, the creator's responsibility or creation's responsibility was given to Brahma. Next is Vidhata. Sorry, I forgot to share this. Karmanam tat phalanam cha karta Vidhata. So one who is responsible for all actions and their results. Okay. For this there is a story. Now for this we have to go to the Mahabharata reference. Now Ramayana is fine. Now Mahabharata. Now what happens in the Mahabharata? Now Dhritarashtra and Pandu, both were brothers. Dhritarashtra was elder one, though he was blind, he was elder one. Pandu was a younger brother. Both had 2 wives, Gandhari and Kunti. Now it is said that both Gandhari and Kunti, they became pregnant during the same time, approximately during the same period. But it so happened that though Kunti was younger to Gandhari, though Pandu was younger than Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthira was born first. Now both of them, they became pregnant roughly around the same time. But still, now it's not that 9 months are over, okay, on this date I conceived, on this date, exactly on the 9th month it will be born. No. Some children are born a bit early, some children are born even a bit late, right? So in the case of Gandhari also the same thing happened. Yudhishthira was born to Kunti. And in the case of Duryodhana, in the case of the Kauravas, none of them was being born. So now Gandhari started wailing, oh my child is not being born, oh my child is not being born. And she was such, we must not blame Gandhari here, it's not that she was evil, but the roots of why Duryodhana became evil or why he had this will for the kingdom is, even before he was born, Gandhari did not worry that the child was not being born or the child has not come out. She had this tension in her mind that now Yudhishthira has been born first, tomorrow he will become the king, my son will not become the king. No mother will think of this, right? If a child is being born or before a child is being born, you will not worry, oh my husband's brother's child is born, now he will get the kingdom, he will get the future property, he will get all the money. First thing is we will worry why my child is not being born. You go and consult a doctor, first let the child be born, then let us think about property and everything. But here in the case of Gandhari, it became the other way around. She was not worried that the child was not being born. She was worried of the future property, future kingdom, to whom it will go. Yudhishthira will take everything away. What will happen to my sons? So that's where she starts worrying. And in that worry, what happens is that she hits her stomach very badly. Unconsciously, not purposely. She hits her stomach saying that, oh, this child is not being born. And while she was hitting that, the child comes out. The fetus inside, it comes out. Okay. And but still, though the period had not come, now the child can be born in the form of a complete full child only when all the body parts have developed. Until then, if labor pains and nothing is being experienced, that means still it is taking time. So therefore the child had not been developed. The fetus fell down from the body, in which it was just a piece of flesh, like a ball of flesh. So that's how the Kauravas were born, ball of flesh. Now Gandhari is confused. Blood was oozing all about. In her pain, she hit her stomach. That's when the fetus comes out in the form of a ball of flesh. The child is nowhere. Again she sits and wails, saying that, oh, what did I do now? My child is born, just a ball of flesh that has happened. Now here, there is a story. Or you have some people questioning here, saying that logically, practically, medically, if you think, now in olden times also we might see our fathers, forefathers and everyone, wherein they have about 12 children, 13 children, 15 children and so on, right? But not more than that. Only in our all these stories, if you see, like the Kauravas were 100. So practically now if you think, a lady can beget about 40 to 42 children, not more than that. That is if you consider from the age of 10 till the age of 50 or so. I'm not talking about law, legal and all that. Right from the time when the menstrual cycle starts, 10 till about 50, 52 maximum, not more than that. So 9 months a child has to be begetted. If you do the calculation, one child, 1 year, right? Approximately 40 to 42, not more than that. Then how come Gandhari gave birth to the 100 Kauravas? This is a question that should come to all our minds. Is it even possible, or is it even logical? How it has happened? For this now, this incident had taken place. The ball of flesh had fallen down. Gandhari's first son, that is Duryodhana actually. She goes and cries out to Vyasa. Now Vyasa in those times used to live in Kurukshetra only, in Hastinapura only. So she goes to Vyasa and she prays, saying that so and so thing has happened, now what should be done? I didn't know this. I was so unhappy looking at the birth of Kunti giving birth to her son soon. Now my son will not get the kingdom. So in that I hit my stomach accidentally, and this is how the child has come out without any development. Vyasa says, don't worry. Vyasa takes out that ball of flesh. He cuts it into 101 pieces. And each of this 101 pieces, he inserts that into a coconut shell. These 101 are 100 Kauravas, and they had a sister Dushala. He places them inside a coconut shell, and in that he puts some ghee and some chemicals or so-called mantras that he chants. He puts out some elements in that, and that's how the child inside each of these 100 shells, 101 coconut shells develops, and that's how the 100 Kauravas were being born. Now, this is the story that is there. Now you'll have a doubt. What this coconut shell and what ghee and what mantras? Is it a fairy tale or is it a mantra or something? What is being done? How can we believe this? Right? We have today something called as test tube babies. What exactly happens in a test tube baby? Does anyone know? What is a test tube child? You would have heard this, right? Test tube babies. Or the first test tube baby that comes in. So how is a child born?
Basically, it's a mutation of the egg.
Yes, it is a mutation of the egg from some other mother, not only the same mother, right? So the same thing here was being done. It was Gandhari's child already. So the same mutation was being done here too. Vyasa introduced the concept of test tube fertilization. So in the test tube also, how the child develops the small egg or the small sperm, whatever it is, how it develops. For that, what are the chemicals or elements, whatever you do in the lab. The same process was done by Vyasa. Vyasacharya had studied even medical science. So this shows. So all the concepts are there today, though we are proud of modern science saying that today we have in vitro fertilization, IVF, test tube, this, that and everything. It has been done right from the Kauravas. Kauravas are all test tube babies. So when we proudly say that my child is a test tube baby, some people boast about, right? Test tube child, first test tube baby and so on. Kauravas were the one who had faced this. So the point is, again a logical question, did Gandhari conceive 100 times? No, Gandhari has conceived only once, but this is how all the 101 children were born to her in the form of test tube babies. So now coming back, Vidhata. Now how this was being done is, it is said that Vyasa, when in all the 101 coconut shells he had put the piece of flesh, every time he chanted Vidhatre Namaha, Vidhatre Namaha, Vidhatre Namaha. He did all the procedure, and at the same time this mantra he had chanted. Vidhata is the one who rules over the world, or he is the one having all divine powers. So it is said that that's how all those 100 children had got life, or that's how they developed life in them. So therefore the Phalashruti of this Nama, even if we chant Vidhatre Namaha, it leads to development. Again, it can be personal development, professional development, spiritual development, whatever it is, whatever we do in life, we will always grow and develop. So just as the children inside the coconut shells kept on developing into small children, the small piece that was put inside each of the shells, just as it developed into a child, similarly all of us also, when we chant the nama Vidhatre Namaha, meaning Vidhata, ruler of the entire world, that's how we also develop in our personal lives. Okay, so this is a nama Vidhatre Namaha, and the Phalashruti is development. Okay, next is Dhatur Uttama. We'll look at one more nama. Dhatuhu Uttamaha, one who is greater than the creator. Dhata we saw as creator Brahma. Now Dhatuhu Uttamaha, one stage high. What is that? Now for this we have to come back to Ahalya story of the Ramayana reference. Now Brahma, once he thought that I have many Manasa Putras, I have many sons in the form of sages, Narada, Jambavan and so on. I want a daughter. So therefore he tries to create a daughter. He creates a daughter, and that was this Ahalya. Now the significance of Ahalya. Halya meaning some destruction, or you can say something bad that is there. Ahalya means that which cannot be destroyed, or everything is just good and positive. That is Ahalya. So this Ahalya is actually the daughter of Brahma, and Brahma used to posture her, pamper her a lot, and always keep her within her vicinity. So now Brahma says that he calls Narada one day and he says that I want my daughter to be married off. It is your responsibility to find a suitable groom for my daughter. Narada says okay, but Narada says let's keep some condition. Who should marry Ahalya? Like, let's not just find a random groom and give her in marriage. He should be suitable for your daughter Ahalya. So then Brahma says okay, now what condition should be kept? So one who can go around all the 14 worlds. There are 14 worlds that are believed. 7 heavens, 7 hell. Vitala, Sutala, Tala, that are all 7 hells. Satyaloka, Brahmaloka, these are all heavens. So 7 plus 7, 14. So one who can go around all the 14 worlds, such a groom or a person who can do this, such a groom is suitable for your daughter Ahalya. Let us keep this condition. Narada proposes. Brahma likes this. Now all the gods also, now Ahalya was very beautiful, she was very virtuous and so on. So all the gods also, they come running, saying that okay, let us try our best if we can win over. All the gods set out on their vahanas. And at that time, what happens is that there is a sage Gautama. Now Narada only had done this. This is what some references say. Some references say that Gautama on his own had come. Now what the sage, now he was an old sage. But what he did is, he went around a cow 3 times. Just as Ganesha and Kartikeya, the race that they had between them, when they had to go around the whole world, Kartikeya went on his peacock, Ganesha could not go on his Moshaka, he went around his parents because Jagatav Pitar, Vagarta Vivasampraktau, Vagarta Pratipattaye, Jagatav Pitarau Vande, Parvati Paramesharau. So, Pitarau, Parvati and Parameshwara are the whole world for me, so let me go around them 7 times. It means that I have gone around the whole world. So, this is what Ganesha had told. So, similarly, here also Gautama, what he does is, he goes around a cow 3 times. And that's when Narada says that going in the cow, it is believed that there are all 14 worlds. So, he has gone around a cow 3 times. So, let us consider that it literally means that he has roamed all the 14 worlds, he has come back. So, now Gautama should be the right groom for Ahalya. So, that's how Gautama and Ahalya's marriage takes place, and they start living in the hermitage of Gautama. Now, Indra, he had taken out his Airavata, his elephant, and he had actually gone around the 14 worlds and he comes back. Now he sees that this is some cheating that is done. Going around a cow 3 times and going around the 14 worlds in reality, there should be some difference to it, right? And I have done this as per the rules of the competition, I have done it. So rightly Ahalya should be married off to me. But it didn't happen that way. So that's when Ahalya, we know as per the Ramayana reference, Indra, to take revenge, he assumes the form of Gautama, and then Ahalya assumes that this only is my husband Gautama, and that's when Indra misbehaves, or he spends some time with Ahalya. That's when Gautama, the original Gautama, comes back. He's angry to see Ahalya with another man, that too dressed as Gautama only. And that's when he curses Ahalya that you will be transformed into a stone. And then we know that Rama comes in, and by keeping his feet on the statue or on the rock structure, Ahalya regains her form back. So what this tries to show is Ahalya was a creator of Dhata. He was the Dhata's daughter, she was Brahma's daughter only, But even Dhata also could not do anything. There is one person who's beyond Dhata, who's one level more, that is Dhatu Uttamaha, wherein the Lord himself, Lord Vishnu in the form of Rama, had to come in. Brahma, his own creator, could not come and save his daughter Ahalya, who had been transformed into a rock due to the curse by Gautama. But Rama, in the form of Vishnu, in the form of Rama, had to come down, and by keeping his feet, by keeping his Kamala Charanam, he transformed the rock structure of Ahalya into the girl. So this story, what it tries to signify is, creator is there, Lord Brahma is there, we have to worship, but there is one level higher than Brahma, or one level higher than the creator, Dhatuhu Uttamaha, that is nothing but Lord Vishnu. So here if we chant the Nama, Dhatu Uttamaya Namaha, even our destiny also can be changed, or we can play destiny, we can do things in our hands. Always we need not blame on destiny. As we will, destiny will also change, destiny will listen to us. So this is the Phalashruti of this Nama. Now please note one thing, wherever it comes that, okay, Vishnu is one level higher than Brahma, please note that it doesn't mean, or it doesn't want to show some discrimination between the gods that is there. It just shows that creator, Brahma, is born through the navel, Brahma is born through the navel of Lord Vishnu in the form of a lotus. So therefore surely Vishnu is like the father of Brahma, as per Srimad Bhagavata Purana, Padma Purana, and so on. So therefore, because we believe in that, it is said in many places that Dhata, the controller of Dhata, or Brahma also, he seeks support and help from Vishnu. Similarly, Vishnu also needs the help of Brahma. So there is no place for discrimination at all. Okay, so with this we will stop here. We have seen till Dhaturuttamaya Namaha.